People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. Now, people, the next thing that is popping in the news is that we saw that Renita Adams, the ex-head of the Crime Management Unit, and that is the unit that was responsible for the 2003 event we are speaking about, CRAWLE in Clarendon, wherein 4 persons lost their life. Basically, persons are saying that they were taken out unjustly, EXECUTION style. And people, like I said, that incident occurred in 2003, so therefore we are at 2020 right now, so people are speaking about in excess of 17 years ago. However, the U.S. State Department, they banned all 7 members of that unit, including Renita Adams, who was the head of the organization or head of the unit. So people, Renita Adams has responded, and he is basically this in the U.S. He is saying that they are trying to double jeopardy. They are trying to try him all over again. After he was found not guilty by the Supreme Court in Jamaica, the court of the land, and Jamaica is a sovereign country, so therefore he does not think that their action of banning him and his immediate and indirect family from entering the United States. So people, this is exactly what he had to say. Take a listen, take a look, and then let me know what you think in the comment section.
We're after a court of any land, whether it's in America, England, America, and so on. A few lunatics get together and say, among ourselves, that although the court says that we within ourselves can say the man or the woman is still culpable. I will not live in a world, Ms. Jackson, with you and those people.
I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
That's not simple.
No.
If a court of law acquits somebody over the world.
Yes, what it means.
For any offense. And you know when sit in your house, in King's house, or Queen's house, and say, although the Supreme Court of the land has acquitted a person, we within ourselves, with our elitism and our imperialism, that the person is still guilty. We feel he's still guilty. So we're going to meet out the punishment that we feel that is required.
So you feel as if you feel that this is the effect of trying you a second time, putting you on trial a second time?
That is it, ma'am. And not only a trial at a time, the presumption, I am not given the presumption of innocence. And no evidence is being put against me, So these people are accusing me of breaching human rights. They are breaching man right now. Also, I'm being accused of something that there's no evidence. It was trashed out in a court of law in Jamaica, a sovereign nation, with a system older than that of the of the United States, where the judiciary is concerned. We have a judiciary of over 500 years old. America is just 200 or 300 years old. And that is the same judiciary that has acquitted me.
So your concern here then is that there is no avenue for you to respond to whatever the allegations are?
No, I am responding. This is what I'm responding at, but I don't think it's any credit, any credence.
I'm sorry, I missed a bit of that. You're responding, but what?
I am not paying any credence to this observation.
You mean to their public designation?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Because on the one hand, you told me how you're there on your nice green farm, and painted the picture of all the wonderful things growing, but at the same time, you sound grieved, Mr. Adams.
No, I'm grieved because you try you're trying to like back it up America in this slackness.
Me, all I do is ask questions, Mr. Adams.
All right, so I apologize for that, but I'm saying to you, these people have gone to a court of law, and I just give you a historical perspective that is older. Our court system and our justice system is older than the founding of the United States itself.
And
they have acquitted me. Say there is no evidence And what these lunatics have done is to come together and create in the minds of the world that I have breached human rights. And then I'm being punished for it and my family and extended family.
Do you have any idea what triggered this? Because you say you got intelligence that this was coming.
Geopolitics. And let me tell you, don't stop here, you know. Jamaica gonna again, I said 20 years ago, go and pay dearly because of our friendship with China.
Do you think there should be a response from the Jamaican government to this?
There should be a response from the Jamaican government.
Saying what?
That you cannot use one of your citizens in an accusatory way like this without supplying evidence.
Well,
a citizen who has gone through the court system, a case that was investigated by them, America and Canada,
they say
United Kingdom.
They say they have information, Mr. Adams.
Oh God, information is anything. I can have information that my wife is seeing a man tonight. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
They say they have credible information.
Credible?
Does that raise concerns for you?
No, that which is credible must be able to stand up in a court of law or any really justifiable tribunal. You can't just come and accuse people, and you don't accuse. You apply punishment.
What you
I'm going all over the world now.
All over the world or to the United States, not to the United States?
You know the world is, madam. If I'm going to say China tomorrow, it's likely that a country who is a puppet of the United States, I may have to go through that country, and they don't allow me to land there.
So you're concerned then, if I understand you, as to how this affects your ability to deal with the rest, to conduct your business and to deal with the rest of the world?
Of course, but they're concerned, you know, they can't hurt me. I'm not hurt. I'm just making an explanation and expose the great Satan they are.
You kind of sound hurt, though.
I'm not hurt.
You're just angry.
I'm not angry either.
You're not angry.
You were in the beginning, was trying to obfuscate and to obstruct me and to abrogate what I was trying
No, Mr. Adams, I'm merely conducting an interview and not letting you take over the program. That's all.
Journalists, you must put 100% on the negative side and 100% on the positive side.
All right, I appreciate you tutoring me, but
yes.
but let's come back to CRAWLE for a minute here, because you sat there for the weeks that this took. A lot of evidence was in fact put forward before the court, right?
Yes.
As you said,
so-called evidence.
Why you say so-called evidence?
Because if there's evidence, we would have been acquitted.
No, that doesn't follow.
So why don't you cut out the court system?
No, man, you're going all over the place. No, you're going all over the place. No, man. All I'm doing is
putting me all over the place?
No, Mr. Adams. All I am doing is connecting the dots. So I am saying evidence. I am saying.
And let me tell you something. That which is credible must be able to withstand a court of law or any democratic tribunal anywhere over the world.
What do you mean?
Tell me that I'm angry, man. I'm not angry
what
because
do you mean?
I'm listening.
No, man, I'm listening to every word that you're saying. But I'm saying to you,
don't try to negate it, man.
As an experienced police officer, right? Because you've had years of experience in the force.
Yes.
Right? Jamaica looked up to you. There were some people who believe, a lot of people believe you should have been police commissioner.
Yes.
You know that.
Well, I hear them say that. Even today, as you look on what you call it.
So
the social media them.
Yes.
What they are saying, what they're calling this great empire.
Yes. So as somebody with all that experience, you know that there are sometimes that evidence is presented in court and the jury decides that they're going to acquit. Isn't that true?
Of course, evidence is given in court and the jury, as far as I'm taught, and I have learned and I experienced, They acquit because there's not sufficient evidence at all, or the evidence is not credible.
Sometimes.
And the Constitution say if a credible case has not been made, then the benefit of the doubt must be given to those that have been accused.
Correct. That if the jury is not, the language we use in Jamaica is sure. Reasonable doubt, listeners would have heard. Jurors are told if you don't feel sure, you have to acquit. Right? Yes. But you also have situations, which is why I asked you earlier if you had heard the phrase perverse verdict, which I'm sure you would have as somebody with so much experience in the system. So you do have situations that can exist. You do have situations. You do have situations that can exist where evidence is presented and a jury decides to acquit nonetheless. In your years and your experience.
If the evidence is true that I may have killed a man, Leslie, how can the jury acquit me?
What do you mean?
How? If the evidence is true that I killed somebody,
yes,
and the jury have that evidence and is satisfied that I did kill somebody, how can they acquit me unless you're going to say that jury is corrupt and the court is corrupt and the Chief Justice was corrupt?
No, corruption is not the only reason you get perverse verdicts. A jury may simply decide that business one wants them and not finding this person guilty.
Well, why do you take this subjective view, my dear? You're going subjective.
I'm taking no view. I'm merely asking you some questions.
Observations, there must be a view.
No, that's not an observation.
Well, I withdraw that, but I'm saying you are going subjectively, no?
So before I run out of time, in relation to the question we asked of the U.S. Department in terms of the inclusion of the family members, and they said that's normal in this kind of situation. Does that strike you as particularly unfair?
Kind that for me again, please.
Does it seem to you particularly unfair that apart from the designation that affects you and the people who are actually involved, the police, that they say they are affecting your family members as well?
Yes, it's highly unfair because you are subjecting me now to ridicule and disdain and probably abuse and insult based on something that has not happened, and I have not committed any breach of anybody's rights.
So you categorically reject these assertions by the U.S. government?
I want to categorically reject what the great Satan has said about me, RENET0, about breaching human rights.
No, man, you've made your point. So having said that,
because the press don't educate Jamaican people about history,
Having said that, having said that, looking back, and as I said and as you said, there were acquittals, everyone charged in connection with the CRAWLE killings, where everyone was found not guilty. Having said that, though, looking back at the events of May 7, 2003, do you believe there was anything that was done that was incorrect?
Not at all, ma'am. And the Supreme Court has, and the jurors all have come to the conclusion that we were acting within the ambit of the law and the Constitution.
Well, the jurors...
If I am accused of breaching human rights, then obviously there must be evidence. Where is the evidence?
A lot of evidence.
A lot of lunatics in Jamaica, backing up the State Department when they made these derogatory statements against decent citizens over the world.
Have you ever heard the phrase a perverse verdict?
I hear about all kind of verdict, ma'am. So what point are you trying to make?
No, I'm asking you, have you ever heard that particular phrase, perverse verdict?
I know about perverse verdict, ma'am. And I know about jury verdict, too.
So,
and I know about double jeopardy, because what they have put me in now is put me in the class where I can claim double jeopardy.
Well, no. No, what they're doing has nothing to do with the Jamaican judicial and legal process. So double jeopardy doesn't apply.
So the only laws that count in Jamaica are those of the failing empire, the United States of America.
No, I'm correcting you and saying double jeopardy does not apply. Double jeopardy says that you cannot be charged for the same offense once acquitted.
It's a united international norm where an individual should not be charged for the same offense for which he or she has already been charged and acquitted by a court of law.
But you are not being charged again. Therefore, double jeopardy does not engage. It is possible.
So
it is possible.
So I am being punished now, my family and I, for something I have not done.
It is possible in a case in law. A case might go to a court, and the burden be.
Yes, new evidence come up. I have no problem.
Ms. Adams, let me at least finish a sentence now.
No, but you see.
What you mean no? What you mean no?
I'm not what I say. You're not to obstruct me when I'm making a statement too.
I am not obstructing you. I'm correcting you if you're saying that.
In a double jeopardy, anywhere over the world.
And I am saying to you, this is not double jeopardy, which is why I was going on.
I will not be convinced, ma'am. So if you want to move on, you move on.
That's okay. You don't have to be convinced. I'm stating a matter of legal fact. I'm stating a legal fact. You're not obliged to accept it, but it stands as a matter of legal fact nonetheless.
Yeah, but you are not correct.
What do you mean I am not correct?
You can be charged if new evidence come up. You can be charged for the same offense.
Not in Jamaica, sir. Not in Jamaica.
Oh God.
Amendments have been made to the law to that effect in the United Kingdom.
Yes. When you're talking about United Kingdom, I am talking about the world.
Anyway, as I was saying, Mr. Adams, do you accept that there can be a situation where a person is found not guilty in a court because the jury does not feel that the prosecution has met its burden?
Yes.
But concerns remain nevertheless about a sequence of events?
Well, I would never like to live in a world along with you, my lady, where after a court of any land, whether it's in America, England, America, and so on, a few lunatics get together and say, among ourselves, that although the court says that, we within ourselves will say the man or the woman is still culpable. I will not live in a world, Ms. Jackson, with you and those people.
I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
That's not simple.
No.
If a court of law acquits somebody over the world.
Yes, what it means.
For any offense. And you know when sit in your house, in King's house, or Queen's house, and say, although the Supreme Court of the land has acquitted a person, we within ourselves, with our elitism and our imperialism, that the person is still guilty. We feel he's still guilty. So we're going to meet out the punishment we feel that is required.
So you feel as if you feel that this is the effect of trying you a second time, putting you on trial a second time?
That is it, ma'am. And not only a trial time, the presumption, I am not given the presumption of innocence. And no evidence is being put against me, So these people are accusing me of breaching human rights. They are breaching man right now. Also, I'm being accused of something that there's no evidence. It was trashed out in a court of law in Jamaica, a sovereign nation with a system older than that of the of the United States, where the judiciary is concerned. We have a judiciary of over 500 years old. America is just 200 or 300 years old. And that is the same judiciary that has acquitted me.
So your concern here then is that there is no avenue for you to respond to whatever the allegations are?
I had intelligence in October that this was going to happen. However, I further got intelligence that they put it off because they thought if they had made the pronouncement at that time, a particular political party in Jamaica may not have won the election. So it was, I know it was coming even before it was, so I wasn't caught off guard. A matter of fact, I was going to go public with it, but because I did not have and wasn't very sure that this would have been a public pronouncement by them at this time, I just kept quiet and not having full evidence because intelligence, as you know, is not evidence. But the primary charges against me, or the primary charge against me, right, is breach of human rights.
They use the phrase, where is it? They use the phrase gross human rights violations.
Okay.
Which you would have seen. Which you would have seen, right?
As you have said to your people, we went before the highest court of the land, the Supreme Court in Jamaica, tried by the Chief Justice and 12 jurors. The case was investigated by Scotland Yard, according to them, one of the best in the world, cannot be corrupt. We were not able to infiltrate them to instigate any form of miscarriage of justice as it relates to investigating. But I just want to generally say to the Jamaican people, and they know the phrase, a drowning man catcheth at the straw to save his life at the time of death.
So what is that analogy related to?
Let me finish, please. A dying mule kicketh the hottest at the time of his death. History has shown that a dying empire becomes more brutal and sophisticated in its injustices over the world at its sure demise. Question again?
You're saying that to say what?
I'm going to tell you that make the observation now, and then you can ask me anything after that.
I know, but
anything you want to ask.
We're going to run out of time by the time you don't tell me about dying empires.
I'm back another day because,